You are about to hear an interview that I conducted with one of Hayden Panettiere's closest friends regarding her death. Let's get right into it. So, joining us now is Madeline Zima. You'll remember her as Gretchen on Heroes, Hayden Panettiere's on-screen love interest in one of the show's most talked about storylines. Now, Madeline knew Hayden both in front of the camera and off camera, and she's here to share her memories of her and what she wants people to know about her friend. Madeline, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Jackson.
First of all, we spoke briefly before this interview, and I told you, I'm so sorry for your loss, and you told me it's really the world's loss. And I think that's the sentiment echoed across not just the country, but the world right now. How did you hear about the news, and what was your first reaction?
I think I saw it on Instagram, and then, it's still shocking. Hayden was so bright and present, and this undeniable energy that was just so lovable. And so whenever you find out someone's gone, it's almost like you have to check many times because it doesn't feel real. I Googled it, and then I kept looking, and it just, I found out at night, and I didn't sleep that night.
I'm sorry to hear that. When you first found out, was there a memory of Hayden that immediately came to mind, or one that stood out to you?
Many. Because we hung out all the time, and Heroes was one of those sets that we were on set for 18 hours a day sometime. It was an ambitious TV show with what they did with a week, or 8 days worth of filming. So we were together a lot. And I stayed over at her house one time, and I think we watched The Land Before Time. I think that's the last time. So I thought about that. And just her sweetness. She was so loving and fierce, and had a real sense of what was right and wrong. She cared about people, and she cared about animals, and I just remembered her sense of fun and joy and her brightness.
Looking back, I think leading up to her passing away, she was very outspoken about her struggles and what she was, some of the things she had been going through. During your friendship, were there any signs that she may have been struggling with something under the surface?
I think just being a human being is very difficult. I think, Hayden deserves enormous credit for speaking openly about postpartum at a time when women are not given permission to be honest and say, I'm not okay, I'm hurting. And unfortunately, our society is not great about being gentle about people's vulnerability. And she did have a tough exterior, but she had a vulnerable side, and she was deeply human, as we all are. So I didn't notice struggles. We worked together when she was kind of at a real height in her career and her fame and power, and she used that to work on protecting marine life, and she used it to protect the people she worked with. She really took care of me on that set. Some people use their power for good, and she was one of those people, or she tried to,
People are shocked by someone passing away with a profile like Hayden's. People use it as an opportunity to throw unchecked facts at the wall, make assumptions about who she was in her life. What do you think people misunderstood about her the most?
I think the people who loved her and were fans did understand her. I understand why people are interested in the darker parts of her life, because all of us are struggling with something. I would just caution against turning someone's darkest chapters into the most interesting things about them. Hayden was a human being, and a beautiful, kind, brilliantly talented human being. I wish people would just see those parts of her and be dignified enough about it to hold all those truths together. You can struggle and also be a champion to all the people who need a voice.
What was it like, moving away from the darker parts of Hayden's life? I think your work with her is something that both you and her look back fondly on. What was it like filming the Claire Gretchen storyline at the time?
Well, at the time, Hayden really fought for that storyline. It was something that she pitched. I had to do the chemistry read with her, and it was really scary because that was a huge show, and I was really nervous, and she put me at ease, and she was funny and sweet, and she wanted to represent LGBTQ storylines. She felt like it was important, and she was ahead of her time in that way. But more than being ahead of her time, she just had a sense of what was right and wrong, and she felt it was just right and just to represent that kind of a love without judgment. It was fun. I mean, she was incredible to watch. The amount of charm that she was able to bring to her character and light and fun. I mean, it was a joy to work with her. I really had the best time on that set, even though we were there working until the wee hours of the morning together. I wouldn't have been anywhere else in the world. She was a real friend, and I'm sad that we didn't get to spend more time together.
What do you hope that people take away from Hayden's life, not just her death?
That she stood up for what was right. You know, there's a video of her protecting the dolphins. You know, she spoke out for representation. She tried to bring awareness, was so courageous in sharing her own struggles with postpartum depression. I hope that people look at motherhood and postpartum mental health as something that really needs to be given weight and compassion and understanding. She was really a champion, and I hope that her sense of joy and love of music and dance and living life to the fullest in a beautiful way is what gets highlighted. I just hope people see her brilliance and what she accomplished in spite of struggling with darkness.
And finally, Madeline, thank you so much for joining me again today. Is there anything you'd want to say to her family or her daughter someday?
Yeah, I'm a mom now myself, and I thought about this a lot as part of the reason that I wanted to speak about Hayden, that I hope her daughter knows how much I'm sure Hayden loved her and loves her still, and that she was all heart and joy and gutsiness and protecting other people. And even if that meant that she had to protect people from herself, she was just a very good human being, a real salt of the earth person. And I met thousands of people in this industry, and she's one of the kindest and most loving, fiercely loving. And I hope that when her daughter goes and Googles stuff about her mom, that she feels that from all the people that worked with her and knew her. She was the most lovable person, and she loved people very fiercely.
Well, Madeline, once again, I'm very, very sorry for your loss, and I think the best thing we can do is look forward and hope to build a better future in light of the legacy that Hayden left behind. Thank you so much for your time today.
Have a good day.
You too.